Welcome back to the channel. I have our 2023 Lexus LX600 and I have a 2021 LX570. This is Landon.
What's up?
If you would like to purchase this 570, it is available. This one has that sport package on it. It has the caramel interior.
Yeah, it's got the caramel interior, power seats, cooled seats in the back, and this is true AC, not the ventilated. It's true AC seats.
Oh yeah. So
please buy it. please.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so we're gonna do a quick walk around for both. I want to show you guys the differences and some of the updates on the LX600. Let's go ahead and get into it. So if you're not familiar, they did do a complete redesign for 2022. And they did a lot of upgrades, and I'm going to show some of that to you in this video. So like I said, I'm here at Lexus Linden in Utah. This one is available, so be sure to reach out to Landon. He's one of the salespeople here. This one has that really nice front end. Let's kind of go through the window sticker so you guys can see how much this one costs, and I will show you guys just really quickly mine. This is a premium, so the wheels that you see on this one are actually from an F Sport. So normally you would see 20-inch wheels. I just want to make that clear in this video, but this one does have some nice features, and I'll show you guys a window sticker for mine as well. So here is the original window sticker for the 2021, and then all the way to the right is the standard equipment here. Be sure to pause it to see more. And then here are all the options all the way to the right with the pricing with them right there. So starting there all the way down, you guys see the sport package was the most expensive one there, and then here is the total price. So $104,690. Then here are the Philly Climbing numbers. Up next is the LX600. So again, be sure to pause it for the standard equipment right here. All the way to the right is the options with the pricing. Mark Levinson's right there, and then this one has an appearance package. Also down below is the pricing. So this one was $104,325. And I will mention this in the video, but the sport package on the LX570 would probably be more in line with the F Sport, which is probably another $10,000 more than what you're seeing here. Now I will say, the 2021 LX570 is definitely more dramatic than the ones from like 2013 and earlier. But when you see this spindle grille up front, it does have a really menacing design. And as you guys saw down below, you have this extra add-on with that package. And these are gonna be full LED headlights. So you have that triple beam, you have the daytime running light right there, you have a projector style fog light down below. Your parking sensors are kind of hidden. You can't really see them unless you really look for them. Forward facing camera right there. And then when you go over to the LX600, you can just see how much they cleaned up the front end of this SUV. I think the spindle grille just looks a little bit more cleaned up for sure, a little bit more contemporary for sure. And I like the overall headlight design too, but it's pretty similar to the 570. You have that triple beam right there. And same thing, full LED. Your fog lights are down below right here. The front parking sensors are placed perfectly on the front end. They don't take away from the design. Forward facing camera. And this one does have the headlight washers right here. And then here they are for the 570. And then here's just a quick look at the hoods. I don't think you can go wrong with either one personally. They both have a really nice design. You can just tell that Lexus made this a little bit more sleeker. That's like the first thing that pops out to me. Whereas the LX570 still has that more rugged look. Now, because this has a sport package, you guys saw 21-inch wheels. And back in these model year LX570s, they had 20s. And then they had these 21s. Now for these redesigned LX600s, you have the 20-inch wheel, which comes pretty much standard, especially on the premiums and the base model. But when you go up to a F Sport, a luxury, and an ultra luxury, you do get a 22-inch wheel, pretty much standard across the board there. And fixed running boards are still being used on both sides. Not sure why Lexus doesn't go with the power deployable, or at least make them an option. You guys can see here, this one does have the appearance package, so they do black out the door handles and the mirror caps here. Also, the trim around the windows has a black chrome appearance, whereas on the LX570, they didn't have that type of package available, so you still have more chrome on this one, more so than what you see on this one. But if you don't get that appearance package, you would have chrome throughout this SUV.
Now, as far as the sizes go, let's kind of go through the size of the LX600 and 570. So let's talk about the length of the LX570 really quickly. The overall length of the LX570 is 200 inches. Now, as far as the wheelbase goes, the wheelbase is going to be 112.2 inches. As far as the 600 goes, it's the exact same size. So same wheelbase, same length. As far as the width goes, 78 inches, both sides, and also the height is 75 inches. Now, it does say for the LX600, 74 to 75 inches online. So I'm not sure what the difference is, but the wheelbases are going to be the exact same. And the reason why these don't really grow that much in size is because they want to keep that off-road prowess. That's kind of what these are built for. And you can see that on the interiors when you see some of the buttons that they give you for that. Now let's go ahead and talk about something that I was really bummed by, starting with the LX570. So where are my Costco members at? Whenever we go to Costco to get fuel, I always love the fact when our 2013 Land Cruiser had it on the right side, because typically those pumps are always available. Unfortunately for 2022 plus LX600s, they added it to the left side. You guys can pretty much see it's not on that side. Now, this does have a 24.6 gallon fuel tank. The LX600 has a 21.1 gallon fuel tank. I'm not sure why they went with a smaller tank. I guess it's because the 3.4 liter engine, which we'll talk about in a second, is a little bit more fuel efficient. So they figure you don't need that extra mileage, I guess. I don't know why they did that, but that's just something I've noticed. Normally when a vehicle does have better fuel range, they do give you less tank capacity. But obviously it's less weight you have to tug around, and these are definitely gonna be more fuel efficient, and we'll probably compare that soon. Now, as far as the rear goes, let's start off with the LX. One thing I've always loved about these generation of LX 570s is this. So they did add a power liftgate for these, okay? But what I like about the LX is you do have a tailgate. So this is something I've always loved about my Land Cruiser, because if we ever were hanging out at the park or something like that and we were eating, you could just kind of sit here, you know, eat your food. And I do miss the fact that these are no longer available. I call these the heritage seats, and I don't know why I like these seats. They take up so much storage, but I just like them. I like the fact that Toyota has kept these along for so long. But when you go over to the LX600, you have a more traditional liftgate. So basically, actually it has a kick too. So if you kick on the side here, it will open up for you, and you just have the more traditional seating back here. So now these just fold flat into the floor. Let's go ahead and pop these up. I want to show you guys. They are power, which is nice. Oh, I gotta move this. But yeah, they are power, and you do have to hold them for the premium. Just keep that in mind. But I just want to show you guys just a quick comparison of the storage area. There's not a lot of storage behind the third row, unfortunately. So here it is. That's all you have behind the row. And here is the LX570. So there is a little bit more storage out back. However, I will say these seats do eat up a lot of cargo space in the rear here. So you guys can pretty much see that right here. But you have to admit, this tailgate is pretty awesome. And if you want to put this one down, buttons are right here. Now let's go ahead and finish off the rear. They do hide the hitches on both sides. You have your parking sensors. And as I mentioned, the styling on the LX600 is just so much cleaner. And like I said, here's just one more look for the 570. Again, parking sensors are just kind of hidden. But let's go ahead and talk about the powertrains for both SUVs. Gone are the days of the mighty V8s. The world wants more fuel efficient engines. Well, actually the government wants more fuel efficient engines. I don't think anyone else cares, but this 5.7 liter V8 is legendary. This is probably one of the most reliable engines that Toyota made. Now, when you think about this new 3.4 liter twin turbo V6, this engine's been around for a while. This engine made its way in the LS500 first, back in what, 2017, 2018, in that time frame. And I don't hear a lot of noise about this engine. Yeah, you're gonna have some issues with a first model year of anything, but from what I've been told, the twin turbo V6 is great. Now, when you think about the power, this is why the twin turbo V6s make so much more sense today. This 5.7 liter puts out 383 horsepower at 5,600 RPMs and 403 pound-feet of torque at 3,600 RPMs. This twin turbo V6, 409 horsepower, that comes on around 5,200 RPM, so a little bit lower than the V8, and 479 pound-feet of torque at 2,000. The LX600 also has 2 more gears compared to the 8-speed, so you have a 10-speed transmission, and the reason why that's good is it does make the steps shorter. So if you need to pass someone or if you need to get on the interstate, the steps in the transmission are shorter, which means it's going to keep you in the broadband, and it's a lot more quicker shifting compared to the 8-speed transmission. And I love the 10-speed. It's smooth. You don't really feel the shifts in it. I've driven this one a few times in the past. My dad actually has a 2018 Land Cruiser which has the 8-speed, and I find that this transmission is equally as good. But as far as reliability goes, that's why you would want to get the 5.7. The 5.7, in my opinion, is probably one of the most reliable engines because I've seen these things go a million miles. I've actually known guys who towed pretty much daily with the Tundras, and they've had good success with their engines as well. Make no mistake, the LX570 still has a really nice and timeless interior. I think 10 years from now, these things are gonna look pretty amazing. I love the support they give you up front here, so you can actually move the seat cushion up a little bit more to support the bottom of your legs. You can push the seat cushion front and rear up and down, and the back support. You also have lumbar and great bolstering on the sides of the seats, perforated leather, and these are the semi-inline leather seats, so they are more premium leather, more durable. Also heated and ventilated seats, and as Landon said, these seats are the ventilated or AC seats too, so they're going to give you better cooling. But when you look around this interior, guys, like power steering column, they still give you the paddle shifters right there. Adaptive cruise control is still part of this too. Let's go ahead and start it up. I do like the analog tachometers too. I'm going to be honest, I don't mind the screens, but there's nothing wrong with this. Now with the LX570, I believe they all came with air suspension, okay? So you have that center locker right there. So as I said, these are really built for going off-road. You have this, looks to be like a trail assist, so you can probably have like crawl control, things like that. Also, you have trail turn assist. And you guys can see some of those buttons right there. You have a heated steering wheel, and I believe that the wood part of the steering wheel is also heated. Soft touch up top there. This is a 12.3-inch screen. And even inside this screen too, let me just kind of go through it really quickly. You have a little bit of information that you can look at. Let's just go to the left. So you have some information here. This is the very top, so your MPG, your range, eco indicator. So some of this has not really changed. But let's go ahead and check out the interior for the LX600. So as I mentioned, for the LX600, they just cleaned up the interior. It just looks a little bit more premium, and I just like the overall layout. That's the biggest upgrade for the 570. And you guys can see here, you have that support right there. And the lumbar support does go up and down in the seat, so that's the extra advantage for the 600. But power steering column, just like you saw on both sides. And stepping inside, you guys saw the LX570 had a more traditional gauge cluster. This has a screen for your tachometer and your miles per hour. Okay, 12.3-inch display up top. This is a 7-inch display. That's something that they added for the 2022 Plus LX600s. And you guys have different drive modes. So you have Eco, hopefully you guys see that changing, Comfort, Normal, Sport S Plus, and you have a Custom when you can choose to. Also, if you hit this button here, as I said, these are more geared towards going off-road, right? So if you go on this screen here, you have automatic, you have dirt, sand, mud, deep snow. Also, you have that center locker. On this side, you have your low range and your for high. You have your crawl control. And yeah, there's just a lot of different modes that you can use with this for going off-road on trails, things like that. And I like this screen too because it gives you that split screen where you can look at different things. So your climate control is down here while you have your navigation on right here. And yeah, I just think the layout is so much better. Here's some of your buttons for your climate control seats and your steering wheel. And your wireless chargers right there. Yeah, it's just really done well. This one still has the cool box too, because that was an upgrade on this one. And then here's just a quick look. Black headliner, which always makes the interior look a lot nicer. And you still have the basic sunroof too. With this package, I do know that it does give you that black headliner, so just keep that in mind if you are doing your research. But like I said, the screen on this side is not touchscreen. You still have to use this guy here. We have a 2013 Lexus, and I'll be honest with you guys, I hate this. Like, it's not my favorite thing. But it does keep the screen nice and clean, and I think some people would enjoy that too. Once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to use. But you have some cup holders right there, and this center console. This seems like a little bit bigger on this side of the house. And who doesn't like the sound of that V8? I mean, that sounds really good. Let's hop out back. So here's the door in the back. They also give you the curtains. You can get these on the LX600 too. But I will admit, whether you look at the 570 or 600, they're both pretty tight. And even though you don't see any climate controls out back right there, they do put them here. So you have heated and ventilated seats, you have dual climate control. So this has 4-zone climate control. And yeah, this is definitely tight, I will admit. Let's go ahead and check out the 600. So hopefully you guys can see here, this is the rear interior. And the seats, so this is, again, it's tight. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. The one thing you'll learn about these SUVs are they're really for a specific buyer. I don't think these are for big families. I think these are for older kids, personally. I think that if you have older kids, they don't have car seats anymore, these are just better SUVs for that life stage here. But you see that they did move these buttons from the center armrest down below. By the way, you have some cup holders right there. And yeah, heated and ventilated seats. These are an option for the premium, but you can get them. 4-zone climate control. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers, and then that will pretty much end the video. So here are the numbers for the LX570. The GVWR is 7,385 pounds. And then the payload, 1,285 minus 32 pounds. That's basically the total weight you can carry. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the LX600. This SUV weighs 6,068 pounds on the curb, give or take. Because of the V6, they did lower the gross vehicle weight rating from 7,385 pounds to 7,230 pounds. The payload doesn't really change. It's saying 1,285 minus 22 pounds. So this SUV weighs 5,923 pounds on the curb, give or take. So that's 145 pounds less weight compared to the LX570. So I don't know, guys. I think that when you consider the new trend, which is twin turbo V6s, I do like the aspect of that, but I do love the reliability of that naturally aspirated V8 versus a turbocharged vehicle. I mean, over time, forced induction does take a toll on an engine. I don't care what anyone says. You know, you're gonna have higher temperatures, things like that. So that's just something to consider. But I hope you guys liked the video. As I mentioned, this LX570 is available. It has about 56,000 miles, give or take. I am gonna be doing a drive video to compare these, so be sure not to miss that. See you guys soon.